Hey guys, Cypher and welcome back to another Dislyte video. So I was just going through actually the Esper fusions, I was curious to know about the upcoming changes, and I totally forgot about this guy, right? Eret. He's a free 5-star Shimmer Element Esper, and he's actually pretty decent in tanky compositions. I think I really need him, especially for my Club War Holo battles. So I was just looking at the requirements, right? So basically need 4 Odettes. And I'm just almost halfway there because I was grinding the new content. I mean, it's not new, but it's new for me because I'm coming back to the game after a very long time. So I did not actually put a lot of effort into challenging these Desolate Lands bosses, right? For example, you get Shadow Gale, you got Shadowstream, and you got Shadow Fire as well. So basically, you require these crystals of different elements, which you get from each of these bosses. In order to fuse 4 copies of Odette. I think she was even given, 1 copy was given of Odette for free through an event. I don't remember exactly which event, but I think there was like 1 copy which was free. So technically you only need to like fuse 3, but if you're a new player, of course you need to fuse 4. So in this video, I'll be actually showcasing only a particular guide for the Shadowstream Boss. So actually, I think many players who challenge these bosses, they actually have no idea of actually what are the mechanics of the bosses, right? I think many players just look at the strategy, they look at the recommended formations, and they think like, all right, I'll just pick one which suits me, right? Dude, what is this troll? But is this troll? I mean, oh, this is my clubmate actually asking that. Is this actually a strat? Like, looks so weird. But if it's in strat, I might ask him later. But yeah, I think most people just pick up a random strategy, a random formation from here, but they do not actually know what are the boss's skills. What does he do? How does he function, right? So I'm going to be giving my own thoughts. I'm not going to be reading the entire skill set because I think it's pretty long, but I'll be giving a detailed explanation of what you want to prioritize while building a suitable formation for your own team, right? I'm not gonna say that's like just pick up and copy. Of course you can do that as well, but I think it takes the fun out of the game. Also, you will not be able to synergize different compositions. Say for example, you obviously won't have the exact relics which each of these guys have on their espers, right? So you might want to like what do you say, like tickle down with your own formations, try to get a perfect team composition. For example, I'm currently using this. I think it has a lot of conventional uses, but particularly I have designed it for my own needs because I did read the skill sets of the boss, and I just want to showcase, I think, what he does. Alright, so without further ado, let's start with the boss's first skill, which is Venom Sting. Alright guys, so it is a single target. It's actually not a single target attack, but it'll basically attack all your enemies in the front line, right? So the more the enemies, the more the damage will be divided among them, right? So you do not want to have like a very huge backline but only leaving like 1 or 2 espers in the front line, because then they'll be instantly nuked, right? The second thing to note while building a front line, you want to prioritize getting their defense pretty high, because the lower the enemy's defense, the higher the damage dealt, and the damage is shared among all targets, which we already covered. So what I mean by high defense is that he'll not exactly ignore defense, but the damage will mitigate it the more defense your espers have. So you do not only want to build very high HP, you also want to get like probably fit in a defense percentage relics on slot 2, 4, 6 in order to boost up their defense, because then they will take lower the damage. Second phase. Alright, so if you guys do not know, this boss has I think 6 phases, 6 or 7, I do not actually know, but we'll take a look after I start a battle. But I think he has 6 phases, right? So every time he takes a particular amount of damage, he will activate his next phase, and by next phase I mean his next attack, right? So this is his second attack, which is Burst Nimbus. This is an AoE attack, and he applies this new debuff called Venom Spear. Alright, and also he deals bonus damage to front line. So always make sure that your front line is topped up, healed up. So we'll need to prioritize healers. You want to give them defense, and you want to also have some AP pushers. We'll get into the AP pusher time in a later date. But for now, just remember to have a very tanky front line with extremely high defense. Actually, not even extremely high, but at least give them like 1 rune, like I said, on slot 2 for 6, of defense percentage. Alright, so his next up is his debuff called Venom Spear. So after inflicting Venom Spear, he'll reduce all enemy cooldowns by 1 turn. Guys, so Venom Spear is a pretty, I don't know how to say it, but considered like poison, but you cannot remove it, right? So the more stacks you have of Venom Spear, his next phase where he will do another attack, he will detonate all the stacks of Venom Spears. And the only way to remove, or not even remove, to mitigate the amount of Venom Spears is by taking additional turns. So you will need to prioritize on getting as many turns on each of your espers. So you'll need a lot of AP pushes, because obviously your DPS heroes will not be very highly speedy, right? Because you will not, of course, they will be more on the damage side. So we'll get into more of that later, how you can increase the speed of your DPS espers. Because the only way to actually remove these Venom Spears debuff stacks is when your espers take a turn. Alright, so his next skill is another AoE. Again, he will deal bonus damage to frontline. Again, you know, the same rules apply. Make your frontline very strong, have high defense. He will additionally detonate all the current Venom Smear stacks. Increases damage dealt based on the remaining Venom Smear stacks. Of course, as we discussed above, you want to have a lot of AP pushing on your team. Your team needs to be possibly apply a speed buff so that your slow DPS heroes can move faster. All the good stuff, right? So after casting ability, if the required number of Venom Spear stacks are cleared, Shadowstream will be stunned for a short time. Guys, this is very important, alright? Wait. Alright, so where he says he will be stunned, there's actually another instance. So the more number of allies that are remaining on the battlefield after he gets stunned, the more damage he will take, because that will determine his score multiplier, which is like what you can say, like in a particular amount of turn, the amount of damage you'll do, it will get multiplied according to the score multiplier. So you will really need to focus on making your Esper stay alive. His Cyclone Rush. Wait, no, Cyclone Rush is actually the second skill. I mean the last skill. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so he does have 6 phases. The Shadow Defense was actually his passive. Alright, guys. So, alright, where were we? I think we were like after this fluttering rose, fluttering pose. So this will be again a very simple AoE attack. He'll deal against bonus, considered like the first skill, except this time the damage is not sheared. Alright, keep that in mind. Cyclone Rush is his last skill, guys. So after dispelling all bursts from all enemies, deals massive damage one more time, ignoring all damage mitigation effects. So this one is where basically this is a gear check, right? Because he will most likely burst your espers if they are not like at a certain percentage of HP. At least that's what I've noticed in my personal takes. But yeah, take that with a grain of salt. You need a lot of you need to keep them you need to keep them topped up at a very high HP percentage so that they do not get instantly nuked, because this skill, believe me, it does a lot of damage. Alright, so before we begin, I just want to give a quick recap, alright, of what this team brings for me personally, and I think some of the mechanics that I've tried to imbibe in this team, you know. So firstly, we have standards here for the speed lead. Of course, speed lead is pretty important because it helps you cycle between your espers faster. Because we all know that, you know, pushing your AP, getting as many turns is pretty important, so you need high speed. My Dahlia, again, a pretty strong AP pusher. My Unis is, again, a pretty strong AP pusher. Asnat, again, pretty strong AP pusher. So I have some of the best AP pushers in the team, particularly to make my Gaius rotate faster. I mean, Gaius is also like one of those espers which has like a massive shield on its third ability, so there's that as well. We do have Asnat's third skill, which gives Lotus Mark, which is a great damage mitigation. Damage mitigation actually helps when he uses his what is it, the impact storm, which detonates all the Venom Spear stacks, because it does not say that it ignores damage mitigation. Only his his last skill, Cyclone Rush, only this one ignores damage mitigation. So we have that. Gaia is again, for the random AP up on herself and like one random ally. She also has some decent like buffs, attack and speed up. So speed up buff is pretty important. We do have triple hits, a defense break in case of consistent DPS when he gets stunned. Sanders again, pretty decent DPS. So yeah, that's the gist of the team. Also, guys, keep in mind I have included like a defense rune only on my Sienna, because actually I was observing that if I put defense on my Dahlia or Asnat, I don't know why, but they would randomly die like very early. So only I think my Sienna fitted it, but I might change that in the next iteration of my team, or like when I upgrade my relics, because currently I think this team is pretty decent. I am able to average out at least a triple S, but yeah, we'll see. All right, pretty strong. I'll just put it on auto. I just want to showcase how this team works. Of course, Unis goes first, followed up by Dahlia, AP push. All the buffs are here. Again, more AP push. Amazing DPS. So that's his first phase. See, my Espers are not even like... They do not even take damage from the first phase, because of the amount of healing and the innate buff. This is his second attack, where he attacks all of our allies. Next up, he's going to inflict the Venom Spear stacks. This is pretty bad, actually. I want to fix the AI, if possible, because I want Unis to actually use his skills. Unis and Dahlia. The rotation is pretty bad. Because as you can see, if they use their AP pushes at the later stage, that'd be much better, because they would remove my my stacks faster. Also, guys, one thing to note is that Gaius, with his third skill, he takes an extra turn, which actually counts towards, I think, removing a Venom Spear stack. Again, that's a second skill. As you guys can see in the top left hand side, this is the score multiplier. So currently it's at ×8, if I'm right, because only 4 petals are lit up out of the 6. This is his OP skill, by the way. All right, ×14. All right, we got to ×14, guys. This might be EX. This might be an EX score if my Espers do not die, because keep in mind, the more number of Espers alive after he dies, after the boss dies, the more will be the score added. All right, we really need a heal. Asnat, buddy. All right, some heals are there. All right, nice AP pushes. Next up, I think he will do his first skill, where he will attack the front line, or maybe he'll do the AoE where he attacks all enemies. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's possibly his first skill. Oh no, it's actually his AoE. God damn, my team is almost surviving, guys. Here is actually a challenge, because now he will use his Cyclone Rush, which is his last skill. After using the particular Cyclone Rush skill, he'll just die off instantly, and that means you have actually won the battle. Alright, guys, here it comes. Oh my, holy. Alright, 5. Guys, we got EX. Easy. Easy. So see, sometimes my Dahlia also dies. Like in this one, she would barely survive, like 1 or 2 HP. I don't know how she survived, but miraculously she did survive, and that's why we got EX ratings. Normally I get like triple S only, sadly. But yeah, I'll probably show this run again one time for viewers. Guys, how do you think how do you think this boss is? For me, I think he has some interesting mechanics. I think a lot of the bosses, which I've observed, right, because I was not even aware of the Desolate Lands, and only now I'm really realizing how important it is, because you get a lot of like gear stones, right, for relic boosters. Basically, they can enhance your relics to the next level, if you do not know. So it's very important to farm these Desolate Lands, I think, especially if you're going for Everett, because me personally, currently I'm going for Everett, to be honest. That's why I even like took notice of this content. Earlier I was like, you know, maybe I was just procrastinating. I was trying to tell myself that I'll probably figure this out at a later date, but you know, you have to do it sometimes, right? And I think this boss is quite challenging, but once you get the hang of it, once you got a proper team for it, it's a piece of cake. Honestly, it's a piece of cake. So I'll try to explain mechanics for each of the bosses in a similar fashion. Do comment if you think pardon me. Do comment if you think that my explanations were simple, but if they were very bad, do let me know on how I could improve. I was thinking of probably putting out some texts at like the bottom right hand side. Maybe I'll do in the future explanations, but hopefully you guys understood a lot of things that I said. Hopefully you will increase your own ratings in the boss. Holy, we're actually at times 14 again. That's pretty nice. I just want to see if how is Dahlia surviving for that long. Like, she does not have a single defense percentage relic. I think this is where I failed, honestly, myself. I thought my relic quality will be a lot better, but sadly I do not have a good defense percentage relic for Dahlia. That's why I actually had to build Dahlia to level 60. Earlier I was fighting this boss with like level 50, and she would like just die off, man. Like, she would instantly get popped. Getting her Aspers to level 60 is such a huge buff, honestly. Like, in terms of stats, of course. Alright guys, we're closing in on the end. The boss is gearing up for his last skill, Cyclone Rush. By the way, you can check here as well. So I can just what I'm gonna say, I can just remove auto, and I could even explain like this. So as you can see, this one is lit up, Cyclone Rush. But you know, we already explained, so maybe in the next video I'll probably do like this, you know, talk while we are in a live run, right? Because I think that's a better explanation. All right, here he goes. Here the boss pops. All right, now only 4 of our Espers are alive. Wait, we still got EX. That's pretty insane. What is this? Bro, attack bonus, nice, but it's a light buff set. Sadly, I don't think I have anybody who can use this. But yeah, so that's what I was talking about. The boost stones, they're pretty important, guys. Anyway, that was it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something new. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of research while I was making this guide. So yeah, do let me know how you find it. And I'll meet you later. Peace.